It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish. If this is your very first time tuning into the Divas That Care, a huge welcome to you. We have been doing this now for 13 years, and we're listened to in over 30 countries around the world. And honestly, it's because of all of our amazing listeners, our guests, everybody that has been involved in the Divas That Care over these years, our amazing hosts. You know, we're so excited to be able to do this. We're so grateful because we have so many amazing ladies and actually gentlemen that we're able to help inspire the world. They have amazing stories, and we love that you're able to meet them, and I know a lot of you are collaborating with them, so thank you again. All right, I am excited. I'm going to be interviewing this amazing lady this is going to be her first time on the Divas That Care Network, and her name is Lorraine Rise, and I'm excited. You know, I had a little bit of a chance to look at her website and read a little bit about her. I'm like, this woman is amazing, and she's doing so many great things to assist people, I think, in their transition in life. So welcome to the show, Lorraine. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here and happy to have my debut on the network. So thank you so much for the invitation. Yes.
Well, we're excited to have you because we haven't had anybody that has your skill set. And I think that because of our listenership and the age range and the things that they're doing, I think what you're offering a lot of people out there is going to be something that our listeners are going to be really excited about. So would you mind introducing yourself to our listeners today?
Yes, absolutely. So, again, my name is Lorraine Rise. I am a career coach. I'm the owner of Career Uprising. I live here in the Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. area. I'm a native here. I've grown up in this area. And I started Career Uprising 8 years ago, so it was 2015. And at this point, we have grown just tremendously. We've helped about 500 clients at this point to change careers or make more money, land a better job. There's so many challenges, so many goals that clients have, and I love helping them. And just this kind of as a brief background of how I got into this, my whole career has been built upon the hiring process and coaching people in their professional lives. So I just decided back in 2015 after, kind of some experiences that I had in the job market and the corporate world that I wanted to go out on my own and really use my time and my talents and my hiring knowledge and experience for individuals, for the people rather than the corporation. So I made that kind of strategic change, and I'm very fortunate today to be doing what I love and be working from my home and helping to empower other people to make career changes and increase their confidence and so on. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and Career Uprising.
I love it. And I find that a lot of people are more willing or more susceptible to do these different career changes in their lives. I think back, with my parents and stuff, they're like, no, we have one job. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And I see that a lot of people are like, well, that's not necessarily what my passion is about. I like doing it in the beginning, but, as we grow, we change. And I like that you're helping them with that transition, to probably find something that's more in line with what they're interested in.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, is that we all used to stay in jobs for a long time, but that has eroded. That world has changed, and it's very normal now to change jobs every 2 to 3 years. Nobody would bat an eye at that. But the clients that I work with, being mid and sometimes late career, they're usually 40, 50 plus, they come from that world of you stay in a job for a long time. So a lot of them have long job tenures, 10, 20, 30 years. And then when they find themselves either having to make a change because they're unemployed or just wanting to make a change, they don't know what to do. They haven't job searched in decades. So that's where my team and I come in, and we help them with that process to gain confidence, gain knowledge, improve their resume, their interviewing, and get up to speed with the modern job market, because that, as you said, is the world we live in now. We're changing jobs and changing careers more frequently than we used to. So it's a really scary process for somebody who hasn't done that in 20 years. It's really terrifying to have to do that alone. So now they don't have to do it alone. We really partner with them in the search.
That's brilliant. And you probably saw a lot of changes through COVID.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, we actually, the business thrived truly during COVID because, we had the great resignation here in the United States and everybody was changing jobs. And so we actually increased business and started enrolling and helping more people than we ever were. And, just a lot of different shifts we could witness between different industries, people wanting to, of course, to work remotely. So a big demand for that. Things definitely shifted and grew in terms of helping people change careers during that time.
I can definitely see that. And you were mentioning the job skills that you're probably helping a lot of people with. Did you do a lot of workshops, or do you do a lot of workshops with these individuals?
Yeah, so we do a lot. We do resume writing. We do one-on-one coaching. I have done group programs in the past as well. And I've kind of experimented with monthly subscription options in the past. We've done a lot of things, but I would say for us, our bread and butter really is that one-on-one. So somebody who's really looking for a coach and somebody to kind of partner with them and give them feedback, give them accountability. We have a lot of different program options, and we're always trying to expand. We have a new service out now that actually connects you directly to recruiters as well and kind of gets your resume out there. We also have a salary negotiation service, that we are partnering with. We have a lot of vendors and partners that help us really kind of expand our offerings and how we can help people even just beyond writing a great resume, because that's just the beginning. There's so many parts to a career change. There's the interviewing, and there's negotiating your salary, and then there's just figuring out what you want to do. So we're always trying to evolve the program.
I like that. And you have a blog on your website that I noticed that you've got some information. How do you post on there quite a bit? Is that a good place for people just to check out before they kind of dive into perhaps some of the programs that you offer?
Yeah, there's a couple of places to go. LinkedIn is where, as far as social media, that is where I have the biggest presence. And I have a LinkedIn newsletter called Get Hired Over 40. I put that out monthly. I do have a blog on my website as well. And I have an online store with some different products and ebook and things like that. And then I've also written a book as well, a full hardback book that's coming out. I'm always trying to come up with new ways to reach people and to present the content. But yeah, the blog on my website is good, or following me on LinkedIn. I have a LinkedIn newsletter and a LinkedIn group that I manage as well. There's tons of ways that people can connect.
Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. So what type of, obviously you're really focused towards the people that are in that midlife transition, trying to, go into that a new job opportunities out there. So when a person is probably listening to the podcast today and they're like, well, that's me, is there like a consultation thing that perhaps they can chat with you before they kind of figure out which program they can dive into?
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Yes. I always offer a free introductory call. And I would recommend it, because that's really how we enroll clients. We want it to be a good fit. We want to connect with you and talk about what your goals are. So I enroll clients through those completely free, no obligation, just kind of discovery calls, and I do those all personally myself. So absolutely, if somebody wanted to go to the website, careeruprising.com, they can book a call right from there. The link is on there. It's also on my LinkedIn page as well. So definitely would love to do that. And you just got to make sure it's the right fit, and then it's a good connection.
Oh, wow. And you said you were mentioning that you have a team of individuals that you work with. What type of people are in your team?
Yeah, so over the years, it started out, it was just me. I was a one-woman shop for the first couple of years, but at this point, I have a great staff. I have 4, so 5, including me, and these are coaches and resume writers, and they bring their own areas of expertise too. So, for example, I have one writer who really specializes in federal or military transition clients, and then I have other ones who have other areas of focus and expertise. So it really allows us to, one, service more people than I can honestly see myself, but also it just expands our expertise. So yeah, I have a phenomenal staff. A number of them have been with me for years, I'd say 5-6 years. So very tenured.
That is fantastic. And you had mentioned that you work from home, so I imagine these people work from home too, which I love because there's so much diversity when you can work from home. It's always nice to work in an office setting because you can meet one-on-one, but depending on the type of business you have, it's great to work from home because it's the flexibility.
Absolutely, and that was something that I had to fight to work from home. Before I started my business, that was one of the big reasons why I wanted to be an entrepreneur, because back in 2014, 2015, working from home was not what it is. You had to really get permission, and it was a big exception to the rule, and that didn't work for me. And that was a big driving factor for me as to why I wanted to work for myself, because there was not that kind of flexibility in the working world, not to the degree that there is now. It's so much more commonplace to work remote, and I'm happy to see that, because that was something that I really had to fight for before I became an entrepreneur. So I'm glad we've moved in the right direction, in my opinion, in that regard.
Well, and I can see that. And for people, this is great because then you actually work with people probably on a global scale. You don't just work with people in your local area.
Oh, no. Yeah, we can work in all time zones, and I am so just amazed at the global attention that we get sometimes. I have had international clients on numerous continents, Europe, Australia, even Africa, which is so cool. But yeah, no, we can help clients all over the world and the globe. It's really, really exciting. I'm always amazed when people find me from other countries, and I'm thinking, wow, you picked us out of every career coach out there. It's just amazing what the internet can do to expose you, to people that you would never find ordinarily.
Well, and you were mentioning that you work with places to help them get hired, like different job. Is it like a job bank area where you can connect with them with employers?
Yeah, so we have a service that maintains a very, very large database of recruiters, agency recruiters who have clients that they represent and that they're filling positions for. So they have really maintained these relationships with these recruiters in this database over the years. So we can now partner with them, and once a client has their fantastic new resume, cover letter, and LinkedIn that we've written, we can help hand it off, and then they will actually put them in front of those recruiters as a service to help kind of jumpstart the search, get some phone interviews going, and really just help them make connections with recruiters who have open positions in their field. It's really amazing. It takes it to the next level.
It is great because what I found, too, in the last few years is a lot of people started relocating. They were making transitions not only with their careers, but just in their lifestyles altogether. They were like, okay, here we go. I want to make a change. What can I do? And I like that you have that ability to really help them with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the world is changing, and we have to adapt. The working world and the job market is changing. How we are interviewing and finding jobs is changing. And so absolutely, that's a big part of what we do, is helping people to find work that works for them, and then helping them also to adapt to what is going on in the job market. There's adaptation on both sides, but for sure, the world is changing, and so we got to keep up with it, and we got to be flexible, and we also have to make it work for us because our lives are changing, especially since the pandemic. What works for people then doesn't necessarily work for them now. So they need to find work that is going to fit with their lifestyle.
Excellent. What is your website so our listeners can go and check it out?
Yeah, it's careeruprising.com. And also if you go, so for the new book that I have coming out too, it's called What You Didn't Learn in School, Lessons on Growth, Change, and Living Your Best Life. And I'm actually, you can go to a special website for that. It's book.careeruprising.com. So just put the word book in front of the URL. And I'm actually giving away a lot of freebies and goodies, so if anybody does pre-order the book before it comes out December 5th, All they have to do is send me a LinkedIn message or email me at lorraine@careeruprising.com, and they're going to get all kinds of free goodies for me to help jumpstart their job search. So, but yeah, you can go to just careeruprising.com also to learn more information.
Oh, that is awesome. And I want to do a shout out to your podcast too. Can you tell our listeners what it's about? Because I am all about supporting people in podcasts and getting there so they can share out their stories and stuff out there. So what is your podcast about, and how can our listeners go and check it out?
Yeah, so I kept it real simple. The name is just Career Uprising, so same as the website, same as my company. I have had this podcast since 2018, so 5 years now, and I have about 150 episodes, and you will hear all kinds of career-related topics, everything from, how to uncover job opportunities to how to interview with more confidence, how to find clarity, get over imposter syndrome and limiting beliefs. We cover career and job search topics, but I also cover a lot of just life and emotional topics that are kind of related to that. But yeah, anything career and job search related, getting promoted, negotiating your salary or asking for a raise. At this point, I've covered so many topics, but it's called Career Uprising. It's on my website. You can actually listen right there at careeruprising.com/podcast, or you can certainly find it on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. It's on every major podcast outlet out there, and it's right on the website also.
Oh, that is wonderful. Thank you so much. We're going to have to go and check that out. I'm excited to listen to it, and I know that our listeners are also. Lorraine, what kind of tips do you have for our listeners? One of the things I always ask them, our guests that come on to our program, is do they have any tips, any tools, things to help them, and in regards especially with people that are in transition right now?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things is, if you're contemplating a career change or in a job search, the first step that people often overlook is really having a clear target, having clarity over yourself, who you are, what your skills are, what you want. A lot of times people do start a job search, but they're a little bit unfocused and think, well, I'll pick this, or then I'll go do this, and then they don't really get good results. So really just making sure, whether you find that clarity on your own or with a coach, just making sure that you have a strong intention and a strong direction is the first thing. And then from there, we move into, crafting a fantastic resume and the LinkedIn profile. But sometimes we just jump right into those things and we kind of forget, who am I and what do I want to do? That's something a piece that we work with clients on, is not just the mechanics of the job search, but understanding yourself and what kind of position you want, and then using that as your starting point.
Excellent. And when does your book come out? You mentioned your book is coming out, and you have pre-orders happening right now. Does that come out right away?
Yeah, December 5th. So, which at the time of this, recording now, that's obviously just a couple of weeks away, just about 30 days, but it is available right now for pre-order. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on Barnes & Noble. Those are the two big ones. It's on, I think, some other outlets, but I would say check out Barnes & Noble or Amazon, and it's called What You Didn't Learn in School, Lessons on Growth, Change, and Living Your Best Life. So it really covers careers, but it's so much bigger than that. It's really a collection of my teachings, and very similar to a lot of the topics in the podcast. So it's a collection of my work as a coach over the last 8 years and all of the lessons that I've learned, and it's got a lot of client stories in there as well, and some of my own stories and my journey into entrepreneurship as well.
Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. Thank you so much. I have had such a great time chatting with you. It's funny how it always happens so quickly. The shows go so quickly here. And I hope that you come back on the Divas That Care again. We would love to have you. We'd love to hear more about what you're doing, and, probably, to teach all of our listeners a little bit more about, their careers and how they can transition in a really positive way. When we have somebody like you and having that experience, I always want to share that as much as we can.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you for having me, and I think you're doing great work as well. Happy to be part of this network. I love the mission, so thank you for letting me share in it today.
It was my pleasure. Honestly, it was. And I hope that, as I said, you come back on, not just on my program, but on some of the other hosts on the Divas That Care network, because I know that their listeners would love to hear from you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Candace.
You're welcome. And to all of our listeners, thank you so much for listening today. I'm going to be posting all Lorraine's information on our social media. I think it's really important for you to go check her out. There's a lot of people in our lives that are kind of going through that career transition. So let's get them connected so that they are able to, meet amazing people like her. We love being able to collaborate. We love being able to share. And that's what it's all about with the Divas That Care Network, is collaborating and supporting one another. So I hope that you're able to support Lorraine in the things that she's doing, and in return, support all the other people out there in this world. So thank you again, Lorraine. Thank you to all of our listeners. And please remember to do something kind. Until next time, everyone.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.